Hello and welcome to this BMS video. In this video I'm going to demonstrate how to deploy CBUs using CCRP with the aid of both the Autopilot and markpoints. So let's jump into the pit, and the first thing I'll do is I'm going to switch on our Autopilot, and I'm also going to turn our steer points to automatic mode. And that gives us a little bit of time to set up our ordnance, and you can see we've got a hefty load on there. We've got 4 CBU 58s and 4 52s. So I'm going to go fence in, fence checks, and switch to air to ground mode. Change to our SMS page and start configuring our profile. So I'm going to change our burst altitude to 1700. And I'm going to change our angle, release angle to 0, although I don't think it's that relevant for this, but in case we need to use CCRP. And finally I'm going to change our ripple rate. I'm going to ripple 4 singles, and enter, and that looks good for that setup. So let's see where we are. Okay, we're nearly at the turning point, so I'm going to turn. I'm using the Autopilot override switch here. Take us back onto our flight plan. And as soon as we intercepted, I'm going to turn left again. And should put us in line with steer point 5, which is where our target area is. Now, steer point 5 is only a rough designation for the target, so we're going to use our fire control radar to hone in on exactly what kind of target location we want to hit. So let's turn her again. Oh, missed it because I was talking. That should be pretty good. Okay, while our jet settles out there, we're going to now look at setting up a mark point here. And the way we do that is we click on the mark point button on our ICP, and we click it again and again and again until we see our fire control radar option coming up here. So now we're set to make a mark point, and it's going to be mark point 26. And if we look on our left MFCD, we can see our fire control, our ground radar is looking at the area where our steer point is pointing. So we're going to zoom in there using our pinky switch, get a bit more detail, and zoom out full. And now we can move our cursor around until we get it pretty much close to the center of the airfield. We know we're going in a southerly direction, so we're going to be right in line with it. So once we've done that, we TMS up in order to set our mark point. You can see we've set it up there. Now we need to set the mark point as our current steer point. Clicking on our steer point button, followed by the number and the enter button on the ICP, and you can see our jet is immediately making an adjustment, which is what we want. So now we're heading to fly directly over that mark point, and we know that it should lob our bombs right in the center. We're pretty much flying level because of the way we have our pitch hold set on our Autopilot, and we're going to watch the bomb fall line. Now essentially it's almost hands off throttle and stick at this stage, with the exception of having to push the pickle button. So I'm holding it down now. And make sure your speed is kept somewhere between 400 and 450. Now we can see our carrot is falling down here. So there we've got 4 releases. And I'm going to use the override mode to take us out of autopilot and just drift away from the runway so we can have a look back and see what the damage is going to be like. So there we are.
Altitude. Altitude.
Okay, there's they are opening, and there they are rippled away. Okay, thanks for watching, and any comments welcome.